Welcome back in, guys. Episode 2 of Fly the Nest, Series 5. We are back with the Posh, the boys from Peterborough, the Western Homes Stadium? Let's go with Stadium. Western Homes Stadium. To be fair though, guys, we're not here for the stadium. We're not really here for Peterborough. We're here for the boys. The boys from the Posh. Ricky-Jade Jones, Harrison Burrows, Flynn Clark and Ronnie Edwards. How are they getting on? We've not even got to the end of Season 4. We're just at the start of Season 3. When normally we have our final season and then now allow the boys to fly the nest. But something tells me we may not get that far. So guys, you can see here that I'm still in charge. Badgie is still in charge. I'm going on holiday all the time, but I've not been sacked. Without doing anything. I've only been in charge for one game, and that was a friendly. The progress of Peterborough has been alright. The first season finished 19th in League 1. Second season finished 2nd and got automatic promotion. Then 24th in the Championship. Not drastically adrift. 4 points separating the bottom 3 teams, and we were 7 points from safety. So not a hideous season for a team that weren't that great. But I'm just going to have to show you the transfers because we are fully aware that some of these boys were good. I mean like really good. Flynn Clark out on loan season 1. Harrison Burrows out on loan season 1. Ricky-Jade Jones and Ronnie Edwards stayed with the club. Season 2, Ricky-Jade Jones joined Watford for £2.2 million, rising to £2.9 million. He had not scored a goal for Peterborough at that point. Flynn Clark, a bit part player with Peterborough. He'd been out on loan the year before, joined Rotherham for 72 grand, rising to 145. Not the same sort of transfer fee. But then it gets crazy. After a season in the Championship, Ronnie Edwards signs for Everton for £9.25 million. Harrison Burrows spent the season on loan at Stockport. Let's see how they've been getting on. So, Ricky-Jade Jones. Ricky-Jade. Wow, let's put a space in there then, because we know he exists. Ricky-Jade Jones. Watford. Has he made a first team appearance for Watford? No. They've paid all that money and they're in the Prem. Watford are back in the Prem, just like real life. But he's not made an appearance yet. Stuck in the under-23s. Flynn Clark. Flynn Clark. Still with Rotherham. Has he made a first team appearance for Rotherham yet? No. They signed him on loan. Straight away went out on loan to Falkirk. Spent the season there. 23 games and 7 goals, 1 assist. For Falkirk in the Scottish Championships. Not bad. Not bad. 6.97 average rating. He then went on loan to Kilmarnock the season after in the Scottish Prem. Not quite as good. 18 games, 1 goal. And a 6.64 average rating. It's not looking good. But Rotherham have since been relegated back from the Championship down to League 1. Flynn Clark has the opportunity to stamp his authority within that Rotherham team this season. Let's see if he can do that. We'll look at the other lever. If I can spell his name. I'm having real problems here with the typing, guys. Ronnie Edwards. Now of Everton. So, 3 seasons he's been a regular in that Peterborough team straight away. 32, 4, 1, 2, 6.79. But then the season that Peterborough got promoted, finished in 2nd in the in the League 1. 7.06 average rating, 29 games, 3 man of the matches. Only 2 goals, 1 assist. But do you know what? Still a stonking season for a guy who I think at the time was maybe 18 or 19. And then in the Championship, not a fantastic season, but 46 games. He played every game in the Championship. 46 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, 1 player of the match. And to be fair, for a team that finished rock bottom, it's not bad for a centre-back. And it was obviously good enough for Everton to want to pay over £9 million for him. The one man left at Peterborough is Harrison Burrows. Now, he has pretty much spent his whole time out on loan. We tried to incorporate him for a season. He played one game, went out on loan to Yeovil. Done all right. Didn't get a look in there. Went straight out on loan the season after to Stockport in the League 2. And he done quite well. 3 goals, 7 assists, but still only a 6.63 average rating. Now, he really needs to step up. This is the season for Harrison Burrows. Now, the temptation was to resign at the end of this season, but I want to get Harrison Burrows regular football in the Peterborough team for this season. And as such, that is what we're going to do. We're going to look at the tactics. He's back from being out on loan. We are going to switch to the counter-badgy formation. And we are going to have Harrison Burrows not out available for loan. We're going to change that. We're going to take that off. He's going to be unavailable for loan. We're going to look at his training and we're going to look at a new trait that we can get from him. Now, he's not the quickest, but in League 1, he's not that bad. Let's have a look and see if we can get him on some technique training. What do we think? Move the ball to his left foot before dribbling. Let's get him to try a few. Beat his man. No, we don't want to beat his man repeatedly. That's just crazy. Let's go with move the ball to his left foot before dribbling. Suitable choice. Good, thank you. So he's going to be moving the ball to his left foot before dribbling, which makes sense as a left winger. We're going to increase his intensity to double. And we're going to put some additional focus on what does he need to work on. He doesn't really need to work on his strength. His passing isn't great. His positioning is pretty poor. His off the ball is not great. Let's go with off the ball, anticipation and determination. And then let's look at this and have him as our left winger. Make sure that the support is his preferred option. Winger support it is. We are going to have him playing there for the season. We will put ourselves on holiday again. And we will check back at the end of this season where all of the boys will have flown the nest. Or they've had the opportunity to at least. Guys, keep watching. Let's see what happens next. So guys and girls, we are back in. It is now the year 2024. We've extended our stay with Peterborough United purely so we can see how Harrison Burrows kicks on. The other 3 guys have all left the club already. Harrison Burrows needed that season in the first team to see if he could kick on and progress. We're going to have a look at him last and the progress of the Posh. First up, we're going to check out the guy who had the big money move to Everton last season, and that is Ronnie Edwards. So you can see here, apologies guys also, you can see the green screen is having a little bit of a weird one. The backlighting's an issue, it's getting dark outside, the light in the room is not fantastic. We need to work around this a little bit, but Ronnie Edwards is why we're here. We're not here to discuss how poor my green screen is, we are here to discuss Ronnie Edwards. Now you can see, he spent last season on loan from Everton at AFC Wimbledon. Progression-wise, there's nothing there. He hasn't shown to have progressed drastically. He made 2 appearances in the Premier League at the start of the season for Everton. 2 sub-appearances, but then was very quickly sent out on loan to AFC Wimbledon, although it looks as though that may well have been in January, based on the fact that he made 3 cup appearances, but only made 14 league appearances in League 1. Smashed out of the park though was a 7.39 average rating, 3 goals, 1 assist. Definitely a player that we should keep an eye on and could turn out to be a bit of a worldie. Ricky-Jade Jones, obviously the first guy, or one of the first guys to leave, went on another fairly big money transfer, especially based on his goal output and his performances and things like that. But a decent transfer he got to Watford early days. He has spent the last season out on loan at Exeter. Obviously, he's been in the under-23s for Watford for a period of time. Loan time with Exeter hasn't really gone to plan. 13 appearances, only 3 goals, 1 assist. I know previously I said that obviously he hadn't got goals at Peterborough and Watford paid all that money. He had picked up 5, but when you bear in mind that is 5 from 45 games, it's not a great return. And again, his average rating's not great. Now, I know a lot of people rave about Ricky-Jade Jones based on that pace, and the finishing is quite good as well, but there's obviously work that needs to be done there still. Quite clearly good enough for League One, but just at the moment, he's not getting the goals that you'd expect. Flynn Clark, definitely the first person to leave, went out to Rotherham early doors, and is now a fairly regular staple within the Rotherham team. Didn't have a great time out on loan at Kilmarnock, but with Rotherham this season, 20 games in League One. Only got 1 goal and 2 assists. Again, for a guy who's meant to be playing as an attacking midfielder or centre forward, or maybe even a winger. That's a poor output from Flynn Clark. Only started 9 of those games, came on as a sub in 11 of them, but you'd still expect a little bit more. And then finally, Harrison Burrows. Minimal improvements across the pitch. But how did he do last season for Peterborough? He started every league game. So, you've got to look at that and say, the guy is consistent. There's no injury issues there. 46 games, 7 goals, 2 assists. He got 2 Player of the Match awards. And also a 6.83 average rating. So only slightly off of the one that he got when he was in the Vanarama National with Yeovil a few years back. Was it enough? You would have hoped he would have kicked on a little bit more again, but it's not to be. But it's now the end of the time. It's now the end of the time with Badgie. These guys have now got to fend for themselves. I say that. 3 of them buggered off a while ago and they've been doing that anyway. But Harrison Burrows has got to be stepping up now. Let's see how they all get on once I resign from the job at Peterborough. Who, just actually, before we go, incidentally, last season, even though we're saying he didn't have the best of seasons and he could have done more, Harrison Burrows was still very much in a team that romped home in Sky Bet League One, finishing with 95 points. So he could have done more, but actually he was still part of a very successful team. So, guys, we're going to roll it forward 3 years and we're going to see how these guys are getting on in the year 2027. Keep them peeled. Don't go anywhere. So we are now in 2027, guys. As you can see, obviously, I haven't taken on another job. I didn't fancy it, Done my bit. Didn't need to progress after that. But what about the boys? The boys. Well, we've had a first on Fly the Nest. A first. So, young Harrison Burrows, the last Remainer at Peterborough. And we done our best for him. But as you can see, Harrison Burrows at the age of, well, I don't know how old he is now, but he retired as a player at the age of 24. A little bit of a letdown. 121 appearances and scored 12 goals. I mean, it's not a bad career, but to not even be picked up as a player anymore is quite upsetting. We gave him his big chance at Peterborough. He played 47 games. He got 7 goals. It's not even a bad output. He just never progressed. Harrison Burrows already retired. Next up, let's have a look at the guy who got the big money move to Everton, Ronnie Edwards, who we now see is at Rennes. So, how has Edwards continued at Rennes? Well, 4.6 million for the move. 10 games in his first season, 29 games, 1 goal, 1 assist and a player of the match in his second season. He is playing in the top flight in France, so he's still sort of progressing. But we're not getting a chance to sort of see how well he could have been. He made 5 appearances in total for Everton, which, you know, compared to what we were expecting at the time, isn't huge. Ricky-Jade Jones had his move to Watford, where he didn't even kick a ball. Was loaned out to Exeter in Minnesota. Brentford then paid 1.8 million for him, where he has been a regular player. But I'm assuming he's playing out on the wing because he's not bagging goals, but a lot of his appearances, in fact all of his appearances nigh on, are from the bench. He's not starting many games, and obviously that is stunting his growth as well. And then finally, the first man to leave the club was Flynn Clark. He is now at Huddersfield Town of League One, after being at Rotherham for 4 seasons, but then he spent 2 out on loan. He basically just dropped off the edge. Played a few games in that season, dropped off of there, had an alright turnaround. But then his first season after a free transfer to Huddersfield, 37 games, 8 goals, 3 assists. No player of the matches, but a 6.98. His second best season, by far and away his best season where he's been playing consistently though. But it's League One. Now, essentially guys, we are looking now at all of the potential and any chance of making the grade at a sort of a really good level coming from Ricky-Jade Jones or Ronnie Edwards. I can't see Flynn Clark kicking much beyond the Championship at best. So those two are going to be the ones that we really focus on. But we will catch up with these guys after another 3 years, and then we'll start to look at their retirement plans. We will see you on the next episode. But don't forget to like, subscribe to this channel, and comment on teams you would like to see in the future. We've got 2 already prepped. Keep them peeled. Peace out.